In this video, I'm sharing with you how I was able to get sponsors even though I had less than 300 jumps. I'm gonna unbox this big box of goodies that I just received from my latest sponsor, and we're gonna find out who it is in a minute. And finally, we're gonna do a Q&A session at the end, so stick till the end so that I can answer all your questions. So if you're new here, my name is Catherine Bernier, and I'm the person behind Skydive Vibes, where we share all stuff related to skydiving in weekly videos on YouTube. So if you're new here, of course, consider subscribing. And if you're on the live, hit that like button. If you're watching on the replay, hit that like button as well, because we're gonna get down into like what you guys actually need to do to be able to become sponsored skydivers. So it's not easy, it takes hard work, as you can imagine, but it's doable, and it's kind of different that we are used to. So I'm going to share a little bit of how I did it, but before, let's find out who is my new sponsor. I hope you are ready for that. All right, so I'm going to open that box and let me know if you can recognize something. And LB Altimeter is now sponsoring Skydive Vibes, so I'm super excited and happy to be collaborating with them. They are an amazing team, they have amazing products, and I'm super pumped for this collaboration. And they sent me a lot of goodies, but not just for me, it's for you guys. So the goal is for me to do giveaways on this channel, and I used to do more of those, and I want to start to do them again, free giveaways on the YouTube channel to give back to you guys. So let's find out what is in that box. Okay, so sorry for the noise of the plastic. So we have a lot of different shirts. Oh, those are tank tops, super cool, with the LB logo here, super nice. We have t-shirts, all sorts of sizes. And then we have their other shirts with the big LB Altimeter logo. Super. Oh my gosh, this box doesn't end. Other shirts, and now it's gonna get interesting. So we have this bag of patches, pull-ups, and those devices. I need to talk to you guys about those devices. So you guys might have seen those already. So they are useful to put your altimeter into your wristband, to put them in, because it's a rubber that can be tight. But did you know that this part here can be used to close and pack your canopy? I learned that from Karine from the Airwax team. So when it's time for you to close your container, it's pretty much like the tool the packers are using where they have a piece of metal. You can actually put your pull-up cord in here to be able to better pull when it's time for you to close your container. Did you know that actually? It's pretty amazing and useful. Now I always have one of those to help me pack my canopy. At the end of the day, after many jumps, it can be harsh on the hands. So there, oh, we also have lanyards for the keys. Let me grab one. Look at that. So the winners of the giveaways I'm gonna do will receive some of those, so it's gonna be interesting. Buffs. Another bag like that with all the stuff. Let me just make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm showing you. Super. And let's dive into the great stuff. Viso 2 altimeters. It's the first time I see the end of that box. Quattro audibles. Wow. ARS2. ARS2. Those are aluminum altimeters. So if you guys are used to scratch your altimeters, this one is the robust one for you guys. We have Optima 2, Ares 2 as well. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff in here. ProTrack 2s, Viso 2, another ProTrack. Is there anything else? No. Another buffs. Wow, guys, that's amazing. So I hope you are excited because those units will go to you guys. Super pumped. All right. So that was the part where we are having fun. And now let's dive into the subject. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about how I was able to become sponsored Skydiver. I am actually officially sponsored by Rigging Innovations and because I'm jumping their curve container and now LB altimeters. But I've done partnerships with Cookie Composites, with also Cypress. You might have seen those. I've done collaboration with a lot of companies, and I wanted to give you kind of a step-by-step process on how I was able to do that, because I think that anyone can actually achieve that in any industries. If you are passionate about something, you can become a personality in that industry. I'm pretty sure of that because of all the tools that we have nowadays online. So are you excited to know how I made that happen? And I'm going to give you the steps to do it. Let me know in the comments if you are ready to dive into the meat of the subject, and stay tuned for the Q&A at the end. Make sure to write your questions with the format that I just posted in the live chat. So make sure to put those question marks so that I can see that's a question that I need to answer at the end. All right, let's dive in right now. I hope you are excited. So the first thing to consider whenever you think about becoming a sponsored athlete or a sponsored skydiver is, why are companies sponsoring people or athletes? Why? That's the big question. We got to understand what's in it for them to do that. So they want to have exposure in order to sell their products. They want sales. That's the main thing that they are looking for when sponsoring someone. They want to get seen, and they want that to result in money, sales. That's the life of any companies out there. That's their goal. So you got to start your journey by having that in mind. How can you bring exposure and bring sales to a company so that they see the value of investing in you? So that's what you got to keep in mind. And so here's the steps on how you can achieve that and have something to offer to those companies. Step number 1, you got to create quality content on a consistent basis. So that's the first step, and that's a very important one. You got to be consistent in posting quality content. And nowadays, it's easier than ever to put out your content in the world. So using social media, using websites, those are easy to do nowadays. Like using the social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that. So you got to do quality content, and more importantly, you got to be consistent. I started this channel 2 years ago. It took me 2 years to grow to that point, and it took me a lot of hard work. At first, I was doing 3 videos a week. I had to slow down because of the fact that I got a new baby boy. So I'm now at about 1 video a week, always trying to put out more videos to you guys, but it's challenging with the full day job, full time, then the baby, the family, and stuff like that. But you gotta keep at it and be consistent and be patient, of course. And so the content that you want to put out can be in 3 forms. It can be written, it can be audio, written like a blog post, it can be audio like a podcast. I know like LB Altimeters are doing a great podcast, by the way, and videos, just like I'm doing with Skydive Vibes. So you can, if you're not good on video, you can choose to go on a podcast, or you can choose to actually write if you're good at it. But the truth is, you got to put out content on a consistent basis, and it must be of quality. So that's step 1. Step 2, you want to grow a community of passionate people just like you about what you're talking about. That seems simple, but it actually takes hard work, and it's done by itself if you put out the quality content that I've talked about first. So if you're consistent with the content, people will notice you, will start to follow you, and they will start to know more about you, like you, and trust you in the end. And you know, when you grow a community that know, like, and trust you, this is where you have something of value to offer a company, because those people are looking up to you and wondering what you think about this or that, and they are more likely to follow your advices in order to get their next purchase done. So know, like, and trust, that's the process of everyone going through when they find someone online and follow their content. And I'm talking about a community because it's not a one-way stream. It's not me talking to you and doing my stuff and not interacting with you. It's very important that you interact, answer every comments. That's the number 1 rule when you're starting out. Answer every comments and let that community grow and grow even more. Be patient, and at the end you'll have that tribe, that Skydiver family that is following you, and that we can exchange experiences and that we'll get to meet in person and have fun. So growing a community is very important. So now when you have that community, because it's the community, it's not the content that matters. The content brings the community, and the community brings you leverage. This is when you have something to offer to the companies. So step number 3 is reach out. Sometimes I see people just waiting for companies to contact them. They are sitting in their living room and waiting for someone to say, hey, I'd like to sponsor you. But that's not how it happens. Like, the companies are very busy. They are already working with other people. So you got to reach out, but you got to reach out with a speech where you're telling them what's in it for them for working with you. Like, what will they get personally if they work with you? That's very important. Don't go out there saying, like, I want free gear. That's not how it works, because they won't see the value of, well, what will be the return on my investment if you're not telling them what you're going to do with that free stuff. So it's important that you can offer something of value, bring them exposure, and show them that you can bring them sales. That's how they will start to be interested by you, and be persistent. So at first you might reach out to some companies, they're not interested, but then a couple of months later or a year later, when you've grown, you can reach out again. And always try to be creative in what you're offering. So it can be a review. I've done that. I've also, at first I was doing kind of a, hey, this video is sponsored by X company. But nowadays what I'm trying to do is really to incorporate the brands into my videos. It looks way better for you guys. It's not like advertising in my videos, but I see the value in sharing interesting content. So I share the content, and then when I need to give an example, if I talk about an altimeter and I want to give an example of what is a digital altimeter, well, I'm going to show the actual product of the brand who's sponsoring me. That's an example. So this way I'm not explicitly saying, hey, LB Altimeter is sponsoring this video, but you're seeing them in the video, they're getting exposure, and then you people who are looking at you, well, they now know, like, and trust you, so they say, hey, I remember Catherine talking about this type of altimeter, it looked great, so why not, I have to choose one, so I'll go with the one that she had. So that's a way where you can generate sales for a company. So step 3, like I said, reach out. At first you'll see it may be easier to get free stuff than to ask for actually money compensation. It's normal, but be patient, be creative, and reach out. And step 4, this one is even more important. You got to deliver on your promise. You got to give back to that company as much as you can, 10x what they are expecting. This is how you're going to make a name for yourself in whatever industry you are. We're talking skydiving, but it could be any industries. Those steps applies for any industries. So deliver on your promise. You see now I'm doing a live video. I was nervous at the beginning. I'm getting comfortable now. But that's a challenge that I gave myself when I reached out to LB Altimeters. So it's how you see an example live here of how to be creative for a company and deliver on your promise. Lastly, you got to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's simple. Those steps are simple, but they are not easy. It takes hard work, but it's totally doable for someone like me, not being a pro athlete, but having an impact in the industry and being able to help people to grow in their sport that they like. All right, so that was the content I wanted to give you guys in this live video. I hope you liked it. So let me recap. Step 1, well, first, know what the companies are looking for when they are sponsoring someone. They want exposure and sales of their products. So you got to make sure to build something that will give you the opportunity to give that what they want. Give them what they want. Step 1, create quality content on a consistent basis. Use whatever content form you want, whatever platform, but just do it. Second, grow that community. Interact, share, answer every comments, open discussions, go on forums and stuff like that. Grow that community. Third, reach out to companies with in mind an offer that shows them what's in it for them. It's not about you. It's about them getting what they want. They are the one investing. You got to keep that in mind. And 4, deliver on your promise. Deliver 10x what you actually told them you were about to do. 10x that, and they will be more than happy to keep collaborating with you. That's it. Those are the 4 steps. Like I said, easy but not simple, but not easy. All right, so I wanted, while you were here, guys, I don't know how many people are here. That could be interesting to see. We have 56 people live. Super exciting. I'm so happy to see you here, guys. Again, Matthias is there, Jason, Calvin. Hit that like button if you liked those 4 steps. And if you're on the replay, hit that like button as well. Clutch Nixon, Ben, Andrew. All right. So now I wanted to let you know also that I'll be traveling in the next month. So we might be able to meet. So I'm going to be at the Fresh Meat Boogie at Skydive Paris at the end of March. So it's March 20th to 22nd. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be participating into, they have a small 3-way competition on Saturday. I'm going to be there jumping with the people who are there. This boogie is actually for the licensed A skydivers that just got their A license in the last 18 months. So if you're one of those, you might want to come down to Skydive Paris for this Fresh Meat Boogie. It's going to be exciting. And also while being there, I'm going to do a full drop zone review of Skydive Paris. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of accommodation they have, restaurant, how's the vibe on the drop zone, how does the manifest work and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. And if you're there, I'll be so happy to meet you guys in person. That's going to be so exciting. And second, well, I'm getting ready to do a big giveaway. You might have heard of it. So I'm doing a big giveaway, well, preparing a big giveaway for reaching 10,000 subscribers. So it's to thank you guys for following along and be there, and square every week on my videos. I love to see you guys being saying first in the comment. That's always great. So I'm doing this big giveaway, which will have a full Skydiver kit. We're talking container, canopies, AED, jumpsuit, helmet, altimeters, everything you need as a new skydiver or as an experienced skydiver. Who doesn't want new free gear, right? But if you know someone who's not a skydiver yet, or if you're not a skydiver yet, the winner will have the choice between that big package and a full A license paid for them. So I'm gonna pay for the full skydiving course up to the A license to the winner, plus helmet, altimeters, and the jumpsuit. So the winner can be either already a skydiver or not already a skydiver, and the person will get to choose between those two options. So that will be pretty cool to see. So if you have a friend who's not a skydiver, make sure to share them this giveaway when it will be live. I'm planning on doing that this week. That's done. All right. And if you will want to enter this giveaway, and if you're excited about it, let me know in the comments saying, yes, I want to enter the giveaway, so that I can see that you guys are as excited as I am. All right. So now I think we're getting ready for the Q&A. I hope you're liking this stuff from up to now. So I'm gonna start looking at your questions and I'll start to answer them the best that I can, of course. Let's see what are the questions. And remember, if you want to ask a question, put 4 question marks at the beginning, 4 at the end, so that it pops out for me. All right. So we have, I think I saw one here. Were you nervous when you first started? The question is for Jason Kipp, by the way. Were you nervous when you first started your channel? I want to start a channel, non-skydiving, but it is as scary as the first time I heard door. Exactly, it is as scary. But I know that at first you are always nervous due to you're anticipating the reaction of the people out there. And it can make you nervous. It can make you nervous because of that, because you're thinking, what will the other people say and stuff like that. You really got to put yourself, put a filter on yourself where, on your vision and when you look at comments and stuff, and just go for it. Just like we do in the plane as skydivers, you were nervous when you heard door, but you went out that door, right? So it's the same thing. Create something, a piece of content. You said a video, YouTube, so create that video, post it out. Don't look at the comments if you're really not into it, but post that video. Start. When we see all those YouTubers and the advice they are giving is really just start. A lot of people are just thinking about everything and never commit to the action. Just do it. Just like if you jump out of an airplane, you got to just jump out. Go for it. So post that video. And a big tip that helped me a lot, done is better than perfect. So you've completed your first video, you rewatch it and figure out that it's not perfect, whatever, it's done, it delivers value, post it. That's what I do. Again, nowadays, you might have noticed that I'm not an English speaker. Like, English is not my first language, but sometimes I see that I do some small mistakes. Sometimes I don't see them because I don't spend 3 hours watching the final version of my video. I just post it out because I've done my research first. I know the content is good, and as long as people understand the content, that's all that what matters. So done is better than perfect, and just do it and post it. So just like you would exit the plane. That's my big advice. It's normal to be nervous, but push through it. All right. Do we have another question? Who is the best person to talk? The question is from Calvin Atkinson. Who is the best person to talk to said company or do you just email the first person you find at the company? Yeah, so I don't spend a lot of time trying to find the best contact in the company. When you start to be in the industry, so after a year doing videos and stuff, I've opened up some opportunities, not really related to sponsoring, but I've reached out to people just to collaborate on content, and you're starting to make connections, and at some point you'll find, hey, that person works for that company. You can go to that person and ask, who should I ask to for a possible collaboration? Here's what I have to offer. So don't get entangled with the nitty-gritty of finding the right person and stuff. Start to talk about the different person in the company. Make sure you have ready kind of a media kit, we call it, where you have what you're all about, what you can offer, and again, showcasing that you can provide a lot of value to the company, and have that ready so that you can send them in an email or something like that, saying, hey, I'd like to collaborate with you, who should I talk to, here's what I can do, and so on. So it's not complex to reach out to someone in a company, and like I said, as you're in the industry, you'll start to make connection and find people that, hey, finally that person is the one making the deals with the sponsored skydivers, so that's great. And actually that's what happened with LB Altimeters. So I went to PIA in 2019 at the beginning of the year, and there was a LB booth about LB Altimeter. I walked there and I asked for someone from LB, and this is where I met the contact at LB Altimeter. We did a small collaboration, and then a year later they agreed to sponsor me in full and give all that to give back to you guys. So things can happen if you can plant your seeds along the way. All right, do we have another question? Oshea Abney, not sure about if I pronounced your name right. Wow, this is great content. Thanks for the advice. You are awesome, and thank you so much. Well, that's not a question, but I accept it. Thank you so much to you guys to be here. I can't be grateful enough for just being able to chat with you now. All right. We have we have a couple of questions here. Victor Monnier, how do you translate wind tunnel to sky work? That's, let me think about that. Translate wind tunnel work. So you're training in the wind tunnel and you want to translate to sky. Well, like I told you maybe at the beginning, I'm not a full-blown pro skydiver, but I go a lot with the mindset of just go and try it out. You'll see. So you train a lot in the tunnel, go jump in the sky and see what's different. Take a jump without having anything planned with other skydiver, but just try something in the tunnel and then do a solo jump. I know those can be boring when you evolve in the sport, but try to just do a solo jump. That's what I do when I want to try something. I just go alone and practice that move in the sky because I want to test it out without having to worry about people around me. So I would say test it out, adjust, always try to be focused and concentrate on what you're doing in the sky so that you can say, okay, I did that and something happened. So someone can also jump with you to film you while you are in free fall, to debrief you. So that's something I would say, so try it out and you'll see kind of the differences. Are you ever, Clutch Nixon, are you ever gonna be a skydiving instructor? Well, I did my Coach 1 rating. It's not completed yet. I still have to do one jump with a new skydiver to get my certificate of being a Coach one for the CSPA, but I've done the course, and yes, that's something that I want to do. I want to be able to coach people and help them evolve in the sport. GMD can fly. I hope you can. All right, so when thinking about what quality content, how do you approach your topics and preparing to share that content? So I always, at first it can be hard because you don't have a community telling you what to do as far as content. So what you can do, what I did is I went on forums like dropzone.com and I looked for the most popular questions that people were asking. And when you research your audience, you start to, in different aspects like Facebook groups, website like dropzone.com, and you start to see redundancy in the questions people are asking. And I knew I wanted to start with newer skydivers because that's where I'm standing in terms of I cannot teach someone with 1,000 jump how to do his stuff because I'm not there. So I'm trying to talk to people that are just starting. So I was looking at the questions that people were asking. I did videos on tandems, like the myths about tandem skydiving, so that people that are wondering if they should do a tandem could find content. So that's how I first got my ideas. Then as the community grows, people are commenting and giving more ideas of videos to do. Actually, when you see my videos, sometimes you see someone in the comments saying, hey, can you do a video on this, that could be helpful and stuff like that. And so I gather all those ideas, and I have a special document for that. I gather all those ideas, and when it's time for me to schedule the next month, I'm choosing which one would make sense depending on the event that can be in the month that can have an impact, or in the sequence of my videos. Now I've not talked about this topic in a while, I'm going to talk about that, and so on. And then I prepare my videos, bullet points. I'm not scripting everything, you might have noticed that, but I like it to be fluid, and I like to go off my head. It's way easier to produce the video too, because if you mess up in a script, you gotta start over and stuff like that. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying not to spend too much time on one specific question because there's a lot. Jan Gilmer, when are you visiting Namibia for desert skydiving? It's not on my list yet, but I might add it right now because you said so. Of course, I have a young family. I have a little baby boy he's gonna turn 2 in May. So travel can be a little bit tricky, but of course I want to come visit you guys at some point, different places in the States, but also in Europe, Australia, we never know. So maybe one day. Jan. All right, King Shatten. Am I allowed to jump with a German license in Canada and USA under 100 jumps? It's basically a matter of, I know that the A license is the international recognized license. So you need the minimum of the A license, but I don't know the German association. So I would say ask your association, send them an email or something like that. I don't want to speak too much about that. And to know if the CSPA would approve that license, well, maybe contact the CSPA as well. That's a more in-depth question. All right. That's a good one. One X-Ray 10 asks, describe your strategy for increasing followers and what number is enough to then approach manufacturers for sponsorship. So the strategy to increase followers is produce quality, consistent content. That's the strategy for more followers. And also you might want to share your content on different platforms, Facebook, YouTube, that's an Instagram, TikTok. So try to share to as many platforms as you can. And also, you can start to do partnerships. So I don't know if you've seen my content on Skydive Mag, but Leslie is really interested in sharing my content, so that brings me more visibility, and people are coming back to my YouTube channel for that matter, and that is great content for Skydive Mag as well. So it's really a collaboration. And what number is enough? Well, you might be surprised. So I remember, I think I did my first giveaway, meaning that I've received something. I didn't have, like I had maybe 3,000 subscribers. So I think the number is not what matters, is the influence you have and really what you can bring back to the company. Of course, more followers you have, more the company will take a look at you, but it's totally doable with a small number. If you're passionate about what you're doing and it translates in your content, they might be interested to do something. And it can, at first, it can be something like without any sponsorships or anything, but you can start to collaborate with them, saying, hey, can I interview X person? Hey, check this out, I did a video on your product, what do you think? And stuff like that. So that's a way to grab their attention, even though you have less followers. All right. Oh, that's a lot of questions. I didn't want to... Yeah, I know I skipped some questions. I'm trying to see the ones that makes the more sense. Of course, like I told you, I'm not a full-blown instructor, so some questions are more tricky. I would refer you guys to your coaches or instructors. All right. I think we're gonna... What's the name of my baby boy? I can answer that. Eju Jacob. It's Nathan, and I chose that name to make sure that it's pronounceable in English and French. So I'm glad I did now that I'm talking to you. So his name is Nathan, and he just woke up actually. All right, so guys, thank you so much for being here. Sorry for all the questions. Make sure to ask them again in the comments of that video. So the live chat is most likely disappearing after, I think. So make sure that in the full-blown comment of the video, you ask your questions, and I'm gonna answer those. All right, that's the deal. We're gonna do that. I don't want this video to be too long. You guys have a Saturday to enjoy. Some of you are still jumping. Go for it. Maybe I can show you what my word looks like. Wait a minute. I'll try to show you why I can't jump. Let's try to... Oh, it's gonna be too bright, and I'm plugged to my computer. So let's leave it out like that, but hey, there's snow. We just had a snowstorm. There's like 3 feet of snow. I cannot jump, so enjoy it for me. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here on the live replay. I love you guys. I'll answer your questions below. And on that, you know the drill. Keep jumping, stay safe, and blue skies.